Caladuri versus Beto Filho. Who's going to win the X1? This video is going to be in a different format, okay? This is the famous little podcast. I'm testing a new setup. Let me know. If you liked it, cool. Give a little like to help the channel. I'm also going to leave a recommendation here, guys. This week we have Beto Filho. If you want to make your PC awesome with the frames, really powerful, my man. This is the guy. Look, I always optimize my PC with him. Call him over there, say you came because of me, and he'll give you a big discount, all right? This week, I released a video speaking well of BO7 because, believe it or not, I like the game. Everyone was cursing me out in the comments. Man, the guys were pissed when they said, yeah, you got paid off, huh? Hey, I can like the game. Relax. I know COD is all messed up right now, but I still like COD, you know? And I thought BO7 was a good game. I'm not saying it's an excellent game. No, guys, okay? I'm not saying it's the best COD ever. No, hold on. But I do believe, yeah, that it's getting a lot of hate, almost like a bandwagon effect, guys. People aren't even playing the game before saying anything. And not that this is wrong. I think Activision deserves the hate they're getting because they don't listen to the community and they don't do what we ask. BO7 now, the failure of this game is exactly a reflection of that. BO7 is a bad game, terrible. No, it's not. I didn't think so, you know. I thought it was a COD that does its job, but it's just not what we wanted. Here's my analogy. It's like really craving a big barbecue, you know? You say, man, I wanted to eat some pecan, huh? Rare, you know, delicious. Then Activision comes along, turns to you and says, oh, so you want a big barbecue, right? So here, have some pamonha. Man, that stuff, dude, is pamonha necessarily bad, isn't it? Come on. Sometimes you just crave pamonha. It's so delicious, but it's not what you wanted. It's not what you asked for, you know? You asked for this and you got this. The fight is getting ugly, guys. This year, I don't think it's gonna work out for COD, even if they deliver an amazing game, a game without skill-based matchmaking with that old school COD vibe. Actually, this whole skill-based matchmaking thing is a sign that they're desperate, right? It's been, what, 6 or 7 years? I think skill-based matchmaking just keeps increasing every year. It just goes up, 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 up. Everyone complains, everyone, right? The guys who get the game, since some people still don't understand skill-based matchmaking, but everyone keeps complaining. And Activision doesn't care at all. Then Battlefield comes along, makes a huge noise in the community, and Activision. Hey, hold on, wait, no, hold on, look, what do you want? Do you want a little less skill-based matchmaking? Here's less skill-based matchmaking. What do you want? More content. Because last year we didn't deliver anything. Here you go. Take some maps for you to have fun. Take some guns. But like the general feeling from the guys is that it's over, man. You know, it's done. It's gone. I think the only thing that would bring the guys back would be a serious reset in the franchise. Kind of like what happened with MW 2019, right? Which, let's be honest, was a really awesome reset, man. A game that brought new graphic mechanics. I think that's the only thing that can save the guys. We'll probably see more changes this year regarding Activision, right? Like Activision going out of their way to do things the community has always asked for and bringing that into the game, right? But like at the same time that this is good, guys, I think this is good, right? It's really good to see Activision caring and doing things the way the consumers want and not just the way the developers imagined. I'm still a bit skeptical, you know? Can you believe it? Because I keep thinking, no. What's stopping them from going back on everything? Next year, in MW, 4 a game with skill-based matchmaking, at 12 a game with those terrible decisions from Infinity Ward. Oh, and Ghost won't work the same way now, and Ninja won't be a perk anymore. You know those things that everyone keeps asking for and they just ignore. What stops Activision from doing that again, going back on it? Because every year they release a new game that gets rid of everything good the previous one did. So like, we're in a bit of a complicated situation, guys. I am. For me, this is the worst time for COD, man. Oh. So yeah, just because I like BO7 doesn't mean it's better than Boyfriend or that it's delivering more than Boyfriend. I got way more hyped with Boyfriend this year. I had more fun with the beta. A game without skill-based matchmaking, a more grounded game, a game that's really more about shooting, right? The mouse and keyboard input in this game is amazing. It works perfectly. That's something that's not so great in COD anymore. The mouse and keyboard get worse every year, right? There's the issue of the game's design, which I think is the main reason for COD's failure this year. What happened? They released BL6, BL6 turned into a mess. It became a fruit salad with all those cartoons and extras they added. And that drove a lot of people away from the game. Guys, you might even say this is old man talk. Oh, I got into it for the skins and all that and whatever. Alright, so I'm going to make an argument here. This whole skin thing, guys, that caused such a big complaint, not just here in Brazil, but overseas too, that they removed the skins that were going to go from BO6 to BO7. You guys remember that, right? Besides that, they canceled a bunch of partnerships they were planning for BO7. They said that themselves, man, there should have been a SpongeBob and Hello Kitty partnership. They were going to throw crazier and crazier stuff into this game. So it's undeniable that this created a negative feeling in the community. Otherwise, they wouldn't have canceled the partnerships because the partnerships make them money. The BO6, its design was supposed to be from the 90s. Did you see anything from the 90s there? I didn't see anything, man. So the game ended up soulless. It lost its creative direction. Warzone 1 was an insane success, man. Warzone 1 brought in soccer players, basketball players, players of every kind you can imagine. Famous people playing the game. Everyone started playing a game during the pandemic. Do you remember that well? Warzone 1 had more of a militarized vibe, right? They were just regular characters dropping into a normal map with modern weapons. Cool. That vibe. Kind of realistic in quotes, right? The game wasn't realistic, but its design was. And I believe that was one of the reasons so many people liked Warzone. Can you imagine if it had been released in 2020, the way it is now? Full of sharks, with those Fortnite dances, those awful emotes, those skins that make no sense. Do you really think the old guys would have played Warzone 1 that it would have been such a hit with so many people? Honestly, I doubt it. Guys, I think it would have competed a lot more with Fortnite, with the kids than with a broader audience, you know? So those guys who loved Warzone 1 were left out. There was no game for them to play. What were they supposed to play? Apex Legends? Warzone kept disappointing the guys more and more. Disappointing. Caldera disappointed a lot of people. Warzone 2 disappointed a lot of people. BO6 disappointed a lot of people. A gap was created. There was a product missing for these guys who like this more realistic style of game there. With modern warfare, with regular characters, without you looking to the side and seeing a demon, a celebrity, suddenly a famous singer appears in the game, and Battlefield fills exactly that gap that existed in the market, you know? I think that's why it's been so successful, guys. It's not that it's the best first person shooter game in history. It's not. It's a well made basic game. It's like good old rice and beans, man. There's no frills, nothing fancy. It's a delightful gameplay, a team based game. And there's a battle royale coming which will probably blow up with Warzone, guys. Honestly, I'm really worried about Warzone integrating with Black Ops 7 because I don't think the BO7 theme fits with Warzone at all. That's pretty much what happened in Warzone 1, where we had a totally modern vibe. They put Vanguard into Warzone, all those little wooden guns, those weird guns. I saw many people complain about that, including someone very influential. That's when you'll remember. It's SMzinho. Do you always remember that SMzinho? He was playing and saying, man, what horrible weapons, what an ugly little wooden gun, why? It didn't match the game. Now, can you imagine us playing Warzone nowadays? Out of nowhere, the game is full of futuristic weapons. It's the complete opposite of what happened in Vanguard. I don't think it fits. So I'm really worried about this integration, that they'll make the same mistake they did with Vanguard. And then there's another point. You know that COD works with hype, right? COD has always been about hyping things up. Always. They always took what the community wanted and hyped it up, whether in trailers or presentations. They always found a way to hype things up. It's always been about hype. So let me ask you, what kind of hype are they creating with Warzone? Are you seeing any kind of hype? That COD next presentation, right? Where they took the guys there to play the game, there was nothing special about it, you know? They played with the new weapons, played on the new maps, and that's it. They didn't create that huge hype that COD always does, right? It's one of two things. I'm suspicious. Either they're going to abandon Warzone or they're going to launch a new product, which might not even be called Warzone. Maybe it'll have another name. You know what I mean? A Blackout 2, I don't know. They're even hyping up this whole Blackout thing for next year, right? But like the big change that's coming to Warzone, which is going to be the Battle Royale map, is only coming in March next year. So like people who like Warzone are a bit disappointed, right? I imagine. There isn't really a lot of investment, a lot of money being poured into this mode, right? Everything I'm saying is for you to understand that it's a much more complex context than just turning around and saying something like that. Boyfriend, 6 is cooler than BO, 7, I think they're completely different proposals. Maybe someone prefers a futuristic game and someone else prefers a modern era game. But the general feeling from the guys I'm seeing, the guys are leaning more towards Boyfriend. Isn't there a saturation with COD? Yeah, but the COD fans, they always come back to COD. I'm seeing some guys saying that, right? In a month, Boyfriend will be dead and everyone will go back to COD then. But like the numbers, they're saying the opposite, right? The pre-order numbers for COD are really low this year for COD's standards. Of course, it's still going to sell a lot, but COD is always at the top, guys. And Boyfriend is giving it some really strong competition that never happened before. Man, Boyfriend has never reached the same sales level as COD, you know? The view numbers, guys. Views on COD videos and Boyfriend videos. Boyfriend videos have 10 times more views. The streams on Twitch, I remember opening Twitch and seeing more than 500,000 people watching Boyfriend. You know, during the beta, right? It's not even the launch. The launch usually has more hype, right? The BO7 beta now. There were times when there weren't even 50,000 people watching, like 30,000, 40,000 people watching. That's not even 10% guys of interest, right? So the guys' interest isn't really that in line with the BO7, right? I think the worst thing they did was that, look, mano, they released the 7th Black Ops right after the 6th, and everyone was pissed off with the 6th one. What kind of idea is that, mano? Why didn't they give it a yearly gap, like 1 or 2 years before releasing the next Black Ops? They burned this out, guys. The Black Ops franchise, nobody cares about Black Ops anymore because 6 was terrible and then they released 7 right after. Really dumb, man, really dumb. This is just... Then there's the futuristic theme, and that theme by itself isn't as popular as the Modern Warfare theme. There are a lot of people who like futuristic games, especially overseas, but the futuristic gods were the most hated. That's a fact, right? There's really no arguing with that. In Brazil, people just don't like futuristic games. The coolest futuristic games flopped, man. Halo flopped. Not even Halo Reach. People didn't play it. Titanfall flopped too, and Apex Legends flopped in Brazil. And overseas, the game is blowing up. So, like, here in Brazil, forget it, man. Guys, aren't you going to buy Black Ops 7? There's also another point that's messing up Code, and nobody saw this one coming. I thought it was so stupid, which is Game Pass. They set Game Pass at 120 reais. Man, my God, who's the genius behind this? Who's the genius behind this decision, man? Seriously, the guy doubled the price of the thing, dude. Do you really think any Brazilian is gonna play this game through Game Pass? They won't, guys, they won't. This is going to reduce the number of players by about 60 or 70% because, let's be honest, BO6 had that huge success at launch. Because of Game Pass, a lot of people only played the game through Game Pass because they were already subscribed to Game Pass. So there are many more players now, right? But then what? There was some news last week or the week before that they were estimating around $300 million in losses because they put COD on Game Pass. So the Game Pass price increase is definitely because of COD. They probably can't take COD off Game Pass, right? What do I think would be the right thing to do? Take COD off Game Pass since it caused this loss and leave the rest of the benefits for everyone else. Because then everyone got screwed, right? Even people who don't play COD got hurt, man. That was one of the dumbest decisions I've ever seen. For sure, if this game was on Game Pass for the same price, it could have a much bigger player base here in Brazil. Now, after this change, just forget it, man. This game is going to be a complete flop here in Brazil. If I were you, I'd think twice before buying it. Wait for the release, come here to the channel, I'll play it, I'll test it, I'll see how it is, right? And then you ask me, bro, so how is it? Are there people? Is there no one? What do you think? Battle Royale lobby. Maybe with less skill-based matchmaking, things could improve a bit, right? This whole Battle Royale lobby situation. But man, this year it's not gonna work out for COD, guys. There's no way. Everyone is going with Boyfriend, and for good reason, because Activision just keeps messing things up, right? Activision keeps messing up, while Boyfriend has delivered what we want in recent years. A cool experience, a fun experience, honest firefights. Battle Royale will probably be awesome. It's going to be cool. And I think that's going to be really good for the franchise. Okay? I'm not a COD hater, guys. A lot of people think I'm a hater, but I really like COD. I like this franchise a lot. And that's exactly what was needed. Man, there was a financial hole at Activision. So the guys would stop and say, hey, it looks like we can't just deliver half-baked content here anymore, you know? And make infinite money at the same time, we're going to have to make some changes. Cool, right? That's why competition is good, guys. You don't need to keep fighting over COD versus Boyfriend or whatever, just because of some boyfriend reason. There are a lot of guys out there, little fanboys, who act like that. But competition is good for both. Man, look at how much COD is improving after Battlefield. They're improving the anti-cheat. They have to do that motherboard thing. Now that it's gonna decrease probably the number of hackers, skill-based matchmaking, they're reducing it. Skill-based matchmaking, they're changing a lot of things in the game, just the way people have been asking. They removed the cartoon skins. They canceled partnerships they were gonna make, which were probably with cartoons. Yeah, those weird things too. So we have to hope for Boyfriend's success. Guys, I've been saying this for a while. Boyfriend is coming to help out the COD guys. You're going to have a much better COD, much more enjoyable to play, right? But then, alright, what was this whole video about? COD versus Boyfriend. COD is bad. It's not BO7. Okay, it's fun, alright? It's a much improved BO6 with much better maps. I did a detailed review. To hear my detailed thoughts on BO7, watch that short video. It's the one I released right before this. So if you like a more arcade style game, more running, more jumping, shooting, classic Call of Duty, like BO3, you know, it has that old school COD feeling. They'll likely mention lower skill-based matchmaking. I'm not sure if it'll be for the whole game or just certain playlists, but it's a start, right? If you like this futuristic style of game and all, Black Ops 7 is looking cool. Now, are you tired of these skin stuff sharks? All these silly things that Activision keeps adding in updates? Crap, I don't know what. You want a cool game to play, a game without any gimmicks, nothing fancy, just straight up action, just shooting, just explosions, big tanks, airplanes. You're just another soldier in the war. You're not a super soldier. You don't slide on the ground. You don't have a super jump, nothing like that. A simple, well-made and fun shooter game. So you go with Boyfriend. If I had to choose this year, guys, I'd go with Boyfriend. I lean more toward the old guys. I prefer games like this with this modern warfare theme. I'm not talking about realism or gameplay, okay? I'm talking about the game's theme itself. I just like it more. And playing the Boyfriend beta, I also had more fun than in COD, okay? I only really started having fun like this, really enjoying the playlist without COD's skill-based matchmaking, because I don't have the patience anymore to go all out all the time, getting stressed in casual matches that don't even matter, you know? But tell me in the comments, what are you going with this year? Are you going with Black Ops or are you going with BF Zeno? And what do you think about this little rivalry? comment below. Then we'll have a great discussion here. In the comments, if you like this style of video, give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. We're in this together. A kiss. See you tomorrow.